everybody, what is going on? It's your girl Keisha. Welcome to my show, Undeniable Keziah. Alright, so we're going to be speaking about Brother Polight. Okay, his real name is Michael Nowak, but everybody knows him by Brother Polight. He is a conscious motivational speaker. Many people know him. Celebrities know him. Everybody knows this guy, damn near. This guy has made tons of money giving speeches and, motivating people and encouraging people to be, I'm assuming, their best self. So the big news that's spreading all over the internet is that he's being accused of the big R word. Yes, rape. All right. So he is being accused of rape. Now, this is all alleged. Let me put that out there. This is all alleged. All right. So just because I may not be a fan of Brother Polight, I'm going to put it out there. I used to watch him. I'm not going to lie. He definitely captivated me when he was so strong, black power. He was for the people. He was for the people. That's the impression I got from Mr. Polight. But I started seeing his arrogance, his pride, and his cockiness, and then with the multiple women, and then he's having extra affairs allegedly outside of his marriage. How you gonna have multiple wives and still cheat? I mean, well, damn. Come on, Polight. So allegedly, but yeah, so he has a girlfriend that he was dating for about a year. No one knows her name. We're not, because he's been dealing with so much women. So he has a girlfriend that he was dating for about a year, and she has a 14-year-old daughter. And what's being said is he took her to first of all, he was going to take her to an after party, and then he ended up taking her back to a hotel, and that's where it's alleged that he was groping on her. But before he started groping on her, he gave her lots of alcohol to drink, so she was totally intoxicated, heavily intoxicated. And then later on, it was found allegedly that there was semen on different parts of her clothes and her body, etc. This is very tough. It's a tough topic to talk about, tough topic to speak on, because many rape victims, men too have been victims of that situation too as well. But this is a very tough situation for anybody to talk about. It's not easy to speak about this, but again, this is all alleged. Now, Brother Polight hasn't had the greatest reputation, especially with certain people he was linked to. So he hasn't had the best reputation, but at the same time, I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to sit there and accuse this man of a heinous crime. If you rape a woman, that's like you killing her. It's like you're murdering her. That's one of the worst thing, probably the worst things you could do to a woman is violate her body. So if he did this, it's heartbreaking. It's really, really sad. But again, this is all alleged. So let me say this. I was definitely a follower of Mr. Polight. Never bought his books or anything like that. Good thing I didn't invest in him like that, because like I said earlier, I later on found out that, and I realized that this guy is not really he's not for me. I'm not feeling his I'm not feeling him anymore, so I just decided to back off. But he has had a very bad reputation. I've seen how snotty he was. I've seen how as he grew his following and people started to follow him, he kind of started acting as if he was better than the people that lived in the same hood he came from. And I remember he had, if you guys know Sinetta, they're all part of this conscious community. And I realized that when people say they're conscious, don't talk about it. Really, truly be about it. A lot of people be on that conscious stuff. Oh, I'm conscious, black power. But at the same time, you're not conscious. I think a lot of people play on people's feelings, because they know a lot of black people that even though there's issues in the black community, but when you speak righteousness, or when you speak of love and having love for your people and being woke, so-called woke, that will get any black person, not any, but that will get a lot of black people's attention. And that's what Polight did. Polight played off of the feelings of a lot of black people, including me at the beginning when I first found out who he was. We talked about slavery and lynchings and killings and black people being murdered for just being black, and we were like, yeah, we feel you, brother, we feel you. Preach on, speak, defend us, be our voice. So if you're getting all the attention and the glory, hey, at least you know you're doing it for a great cause. But no, a lot of people do this for money. It's the same thing. People want to be a motivational speaker and be a relationship coach, and then they're collecting all this money and funds, but then they're not really for what they're talking about. It's just everything is for the money. So when everything is for the money, the love and the passion you have for whatever you're doing is not there, and eventually it will show. So yeah, he was accused of raping his girlfriend, 14-year-old daughter. And my thing is, at the end of the day, if this is true, why would you even have this man alone with your 14-year-old daughter? And because you dated him for a year, it wasn't like it was 11 years or 15 years. I mean, you shouldn't have anybody that's not your husband or that you haven't known for a long time around your child. 1 year, that's 1 year. You know, there should be no man left alone with your child. That's your baby, that's your child. He's not that girl's father, and he had no business being with her at no after party and at no hotel. What was he doing with her? Well, why would a 14-year-old be in that type of environment anyway? Anybody give me that answer? She shouldn't have been there. But at the end of the day, Polight is a brilliant guy. He's a smart man. He's very knowledgeable. From what I read, this man speaks 7 different languages. So the guy is definitely smart. I remember seeing him battling Israelite camps. And I'm like, okay, it was cool for me too, because I was able to learn from him and learn from, Israelite camps. But at the same time, I started to see the fraud in him being exposed as time went on. So, I don't want to see people go down for something like this. But if you did the crime, you gotta do the time. And no woman, no matter how powerful a man is, no matter how popular a man is, no matter how great he is with his words, you have to have discernment. You have to have wisdom, and you cannot just trust a man with your child, especially after a year of dating. I feel like after a year of dating, that's when he should be meeting your daughter and meeting your son. That's when he should be introduced after 6 months to a year. You have to take your time, because you don't know people. People could just switch up on you like that. So I just think it's such a shame that this happened. If this happened to this girl, I feel so sorry, because that's such a traumatic situation for her and for his followers. I don't know how you guys feel if you do follow Brother Polight. If you are a fan of Polight, state your comments down below and tell me how you feel about the situation, because this is something very, very serious. This could definitely end his career, and this could ruin him for life. But it may not ruin him completely, because you had tons of people that's caught up in horrible situations, and they were still able to keep their following. They were still able to keep their following. There are some sick people, some sick, depraved people who know that, let's say Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was chopping off women's head, killing women, raping women, having intercourse with their decomposing body. They were rotting. No, barely any flesh. Nothing. The vagina damn near gone. And this guy was still creeping up in those decomposing bodies. And you had women in love with Ted Bundy. In love with that man. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This guy is a murderer, found guilty, proof and all, and you had women in love with Ted Bundy. And I've watched documentaries on serial killers, and they always had a fandom. They always had fans. And they were proven guilty. The proof is right there. So I don't think that, same thing with Derek Jackson. I'm not saying Derek Jackson was a murderer, but he was accused of cheating, of adultery, and he came out and said that was the situation, and he made a mistake, and etc. But I'm sure he still got women that is in love with him and still will follow him and will sneak off with him and give him some behind the wife's back. Meanwhile, telling her to leave him, they're sneaking up with him. So again, I don't think this will totally affect Brother Polight's career, but I know I've stopped following Brother Polight for a very long time, and I just, I've heard stories of him scamming people, not paying people back, all alleged, drinks a lot, he smokes, and it's just like, this is Brother Polight, this motivational speaker, this spiritual man. Black woman is God. And look how he treats the women. Listen, it's one thing if you follow people, but it's another thing if you just make these people your life. If you just everything they say and do, you take into consideration and you believe. You can't believe everything people say and do. Sometimes you have to do your own research, and sometimes you have to take a step back and not get caught up, because this could be a totally different person off camera. So yeah, you know, you can like a celebrity, you can like what they do as far as like they're singing, they're rapping, they're dancing, but that's as far as it goes. I'm not gonna sit there and throw on a cape and fly to their safety and for their protection. I'm not doing that unless they paid me, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go crazy over a celebrity or any motivational speaker, because at the end of the day, they're human. They're a human being just like me. I could have love for them, but that's as far as it goes. I'm not going to idolize them. So a lot of people did worship Brother Polight and idolize him. You have to take your time. You have to sit back and be like, okay, what they're saying makes sense. Anybody has the power to brainwash if you're good with words. So just be very, very careful with the way how people speak and etc. like that, because that could be luring you in, and you get so infatuated with this person, you kind of lose it. So you have to understand this is just a person. Don't get caught up, and don't look at them as if they could do no wrong. They're a human being just like you. They're not the Most High. Also, I want to say that people can also lie too as well, because I know that Brother Polight haven't had the best reputation, like I mentioned before. So people can lie and make up things too, and if someone made this stuff up, then that was really bad on their end too. That makes them look really, really bad. That makes them bad, because no matter what happened between you and Brother Polight, you don't go around making up stories about rape. That's a huge accusation. You cannot. That's a huge allegation that can definitely ruin people. So you really want to take it there, because that the hate you may have for somebody. Again, I'm not the craziest fan about Brother Polight, but I don't know. We will have to see. So I want to just put that out there too, because people can make up lies all the time, and men are always being accused of rape. And just because a man's accused of rape doesn't mean that he necessarily did it. But again, we have to wait for more details. Alright, so that's all I want to say. So catch me in my next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye.